Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. We've got a new timer up. That's how much time you've got left in this lesson. We are going to be finishing very promptly today because we have another lesson going straight after it. We'd like to welcome Carl Gorka to do the presentation tonight, and he'll be able to explain to you very shortly what this lesson's all about. Welcome, Carl.
Okay, you got me now? I am. Good, okay. Hi everybody, sorry. Some technical problems are probably going to happen. Hi Roy, and Liam, and Alex, and everybody else. Okay, today we're going to be talking about endgames, or that's what I'm going to be talking about, and some endgame strategy. On a Tuesday, for most of this term, I'm going to be talking about endgames. Now, some of you may know, or some of you may not know, that I run an endgame group for adults and juniors at the Melbourne Chess Club, which is my chess club. And so I've got quite a bit of experience with endgames, and I found that whoever is playing endgames could be better at endgames, including everybody that sat in front of me. Okay? So I'm going to be talking about endgames from some very basic ideas all the way through to some very, very advanced stuff. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is one of the most basic concepts of endgames. And I just want to talk before that about what I'd like you to do when I've got some questions for you. Okay, when I've got some questions for you, if you put your hand up, so if you put your hand up, I will then get you to talk, see if you can answer the question, or I may ask you to type, okay, your answers to some of the questions I've got for you. So the position on the screen that you can see at the present moment has got 2 kings and 2 pawns. It's white to move. So I'm going to give you all about 30 seconds to put what you think white's best move is in this position. Just write it down. Very good, Ben. Okay, Joseph's got a nice move. Anthony Haynes got a nice move. Okay, if everyone just wants to write down what they think would be white's first move. Michael Van Zel Smith, I've got yours. Very good. Okay, Joseph, sorry about the sound. I'm doing my very best here. We've got quite a few people. And the same move keeps coming up again and again and again. Lots of people saying the same thing. So, you must all be as good at endgames as... Max is even saying what the result is. Very good, Max. Okay, but if we get the first move, it's... Anthony Haynes also... you're all predicting the result as well. Can everybody see that far ahead? That's quite incredible. Yep, says Anthony. He can see that far ahead. Max is a little bit more honest. He says no, he can't see that far ahead, but he's guessing. However, I'm going to give you a little clue. Okay, that's enough. I think virtually everybody said something. So, and most of you have come up with the same move, which is moving your king up the board to this square here. Okay. So, everybody thinks that this move is the winning move. Jameson, are you having trouble hearing me? No, Jamison Coots. White wins no matter what. Very interesting. Actually, white only wins in one way in this position. And there's only one move that actually wins for white. Okay, but the secret is that white's king has to take black's pawn and get in front of his own pawn so that the black king can't oppose him. Let me show you. The problem is that if the king comes here, okay, if the king comes up to here, then this pawn is going to come down the board like this, you have to take the pawn, and when you take a pawn and your own pawn is on a side file, either the A file or the H file, it's very, very difficult to win. This king has to try and get into the corner, and the game will end a draw. Okay? All this king has to do is keep jumping from side to side. We got stalemate. Okay? So, going back to the start, king to here is the right move. Most people were saying king c3. It's the obvious looking move, but unfortunately it doesn't work. But king here does. Because after king here, the king's going to come to this square. And then this square, and then take the pawn. Okay? However, it's not all over yet. Black's going to do this and still try and get rid of his pawn and bring white's pawn to the A file. So let's have some ideas about what white should be playing in this position. Okay, Alex Rigby's got his hand up. Are you having some trouble hearing Alex? Okay, lots of people, good ideas. Wow, have you all been practicing your endgames before me? Okay, so it looks as if... Hey, it looks as if everybody is sort of saying one thing or the other. Should we move the pawn to there or should we move it to there? You've got to move the pawn out of the way because taking is no good. If you take, this king's going to do the same as it did in the last variation. Okay? And most of you are saying push the pawn to this square. How about this one? No? B3 probably better. Everyone likes just one square. This is nearer to becoming a queen. B4, B4, B3. Okay, let me give you another clue. It's very, very important that your king gets in front of the pawn. Okay? So let's have a look. If this goes to here, king, king, king. And now, your king is not in front of the pawn. Okay, but the most important thing is to get your king in front of the pawn so it can win. From this position, just so that everybody knows, the secret to drawing is just to go straight back each time with your king. Oppose, block, and straight back. So that when this comes across, you just go opposite, block, and we have stalemate. Okay? So, going back to the start, those of you who thought that this pawn should go to B3, absolutely right. And the game would now continue like this. This king will try and come and intercept. King takes the pawn, and now watch. The king gets in front of its own pawn. Okay? Which is really, really important. The black king cannot stop the white king from moving forward. It can try and intercept, but when it does, white takes an opposition. Okay? White's king opposing black's king, forcing it out of the way, and then it will drive forward, trying to get to the B6 square. Okay? So that's the square it wants to get to. If it can get to there, then white will win this position. And that's a theory position that everybody really in chess should know. So, doing the same thing all the time, now it's an easy win. Okay? All you do is bring your king up, or your pawn up, sorry. Then your king now supports the pawn. And then your next three moves will just be pushing your pawn to promote to a queen. Okay? Now, the big secret behind all of what we've just seen is that when white won, his king advanced, his king got in front of the pawn. His king was very active. When black drew, it's because black's king became very active in front of the pawn as well. So I'm going to take you to another position now, and then we're going to talk about this one. Okay? First off, I'd like to say that to many people, I didn't give this as a test because I thought it was a little bit easy. Okay? But to many people, you got that one really, really, really easily. Lots of people got it right. So I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult for you. Okay? This position came from a very, very famous game. We're going to talk about this game. Okay? This game was played by a very, very famous endgame player. Okay? This endgame player, the player who was black in this position, his name was Rubinstein. And Rubinstein, don't worry, Roy. Don't worry. I can change the boards. Okay? Watch. I go back to the last one. There you go. I had it all prepared beforehand. Okay. This position happened in a very famous game. The game was played by a guy called Rubinstein. Can I please talk? Yes. Okay. All right. Anthony's got his hand up. Just a quick question.
Okay. Back on the other position.
Yep.
All right. Can you just go back to the other position for a moment?
Yep. We should be there.
Okay. It's not up yet. All right, now it is.
Yep.
In this particular position, white to move, how would you win? Because you obviously can't push the pawn or it's stalemate.
Okay. If it was white to move, white would move his king to there. Okay.
Yep.
So this king comes in the way. So you just move your king.
But he can just move his king back into the corner.
If you move your king here.
Now he opposes the king.
Yep. And now the pawn comes up, but this king can come out this way.
Now the king goes out. All right, there you go.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right.
Has that answered your question?
Thanks. Yes, it does. Thanks.
Okay. Good stuff. Anthony, I'm just going to mute you a second.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Just Alex Rigby, you've got a question as well, so I'm just going to unmute you, Alex.
And, wait, could you go to the next question, the next puzzle?
This position?
Yeah, because we didn't hear who was white and black. We lost the audio.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
And then the famous endgame player.
The famous endgame player. Okay, Alex, I'm just going to turn you off a second. Oh, actually, I'll just leave you on, and if you can hear me, then you can say okay. The guy who's black in this position, his name is Rubinstein, and he was a very, very famous chess player around the early 1900s, probably around about 1910. He was probably the best player in the world. Okay, I think he would have been counted as the #1 in the world then. And his style was exchange off pieces and win endgames. Okay, he was very, very good at winning endgames. Okay. So, the guy who's white in this position is a guy called Eric Cohn, who was a very, very good player. Okay, in fact, he'd beaten Rubinstein, or he beat Rubinstein a little bit later in a match. But this game, Rubinstein won in excellent, excellent style. Okay, so white decided. Okay, Alex, I'm just going to turn you off a second. White decided. Well, white's got to decide one thing. Should he exchange off rooks, move his rook over to here, or should he not exchange off rooks? So, let's see what you would do if you were white. Would you exchange off rooks or not in this position? I'll give you all about... Okay, just a quick exchange or not exchange. You can either say yes or no. No, no, yes. We've already got some yeses, and we've already got some no's. Okay, some people would, some people wouldn't. Okay, I'm just going to ask everybody to do one thing for me. Put your hand up if you were at last night's lecture. So if you were, just put your hand up so I can see how many people were here. Okay, quite a few. Quite a few were here last night. That's good. So could somebody write to everybody what last night's lecture was about? Not just to me privately, but to everyone. Someone whose hand was up, just write to everyone what last night's lecture was about. Pawns. Thanks, Liam. Minority attack and pawns. Pawns. Very good. Okay. All right. Weak pawns. Pawns, that's very good. Okay, who's got better pawns in this position? White or black? Black. Thank you very much, Josie. Black's got excellent pawns. Let me just have a look. Black's got 4 pawns in one island, 2 pawns in one island. So he's got 2 pawn islands and he's got no weak pawns. White has 3 pawn islands. He's got an isolated pawn over here. He's got doubled pawns here. Okay? So, white is probably in a worse position. Probably. Liam? You've got your hand up. Yes, Liam? Liam, you can say something if you want. If you can. Okay, Liam doesn't seem to be there. Okay? All right, in this position, look at these 3 pawns. They're very, very weak. However, if white decides to exchange off rooks, how on earth is black going to do something? Because if we count the amount of squares it takes for white to get his king down to attack these pawns, 1, 2, 3, 4. White has got 1, 2, 3, 4. His king's just going to come over here and he's going to defend. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can get to this position, but how is black going to do anything in this position? That's what you would have to ask yourself. And if we go back to the very start, that's what you would have to ask yourself in this position. So the player who was white just thought exactly as many of you have thought, just exchange rooks. Okay? Exchange off rooks. Perhaps not the best move in this position. When you're in a worse position, you should really try and keep as many pieces on as possible. Okay? Now somebody is suggesting just move their rook over to here and take this pawn. Okay? They would have to deal with this. And now this rook's going to start taking pawns up here. Okay? So, as I said, Rubinstein, the player who's playing black, a very, very good endgame player, immediately saw what was going on. Okay? So, he had no problems taking rooks. Okay? The player who's Yeah, thank you, David. The player who's in the better position, okay, who would be black because of his better pawns, wants to exchange off pieces as long as he can get his pieces into good positions. And now we've only got 1 piece each, the king. But watch. After this, black's king has come all the way down the board, is very, very active. It's much better than the white king, which is stuck between these 2 squares here. Otherwise, he's going to lose this pawn. So that's all he can do, move his king backwards and forwards. So, black's plan, and he worked this out at the very start when it was an idea of taking rooks, black's plan is to push his pawns, so all of these 4 kingside pawns, he's going to push these down the board and they're going to catch up with his king. Okay, so that's what he's going to do. So, all these pawns are just going to come running up the board. So you've got to choose which pawn you're going to move. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So are we going to have this one? We're going to have this one, or this one. All of them. Well, you've got to push one first. So which one are you going to push? Okay, so what have we got? We've got G7, B5. B5's coming down the board. Okay. G7, B5. Okay, let's say that one of these pawns comes down. Which one's it going to be on the king side? We'll leave B5 for a moment. G5, F5, H5. So in other words, okay, any of these pawns moving would be okay. Is that all right? So we could move any one of these pawns, just throw them down the board, and then we're going to get a good position. Alex, yes, you say right. Harris thinks that's true as well. Okay, all we've got to do is push these 4 pawns down the board, and then this king will be in better position than this. Okay? All agreed? Well, a few have agreed anyway. Okay. How about my hand is up? Sorry, Anthony. Okay. Anthony, just a second.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry,
yeah.
I lost the internet for a moment. I missed about 30 seconds. What actually happened?
Okay, the king. Well, I'll just go back and we'll just go back and show you. Okay, so
Cool, thanks.
try and go back. Okay.
I missed the exchange of rooks and things.
Okay. Right. Right. We'll just go back to here. Right to the start, just for Anthony's benefit. So the rook came here. The question was, do we exchange? The answer was yes, we do, because we have better pawn structure, and our king, although the white king is going to match us, the black king is now in a much better position than the white king. It's much further down the board. So now the next question was, these pawns, or this is the strategy that Rubinstein came forward with. He pushed these pawns down the board, these ones that are highlighted in red, he pushed them down the board so that they caught up with his own king. And then, when there are exchanges, his king will be in a much better position than the white king. Okay?
All right, thanks. That's fine, thanks.
So, the only thing I've got to say is, does it matter which pawn you move? You know, that's the only question that really I have to ask of people. Okay? So, everyone seems to think anyone moves. Okay, let's have a look at this one. F5. Okay? If this moves, okay, then this pawn is going to come forward. And now, this is, well, somebody could tell me if you saw the lecture last night, what sort of pawn is this? Anthony, thank you very much. A backward pawn. So all of a sudden, from having no weak pawns, black has got one very, very bad pawn. And actually, this position would be bad enough for black to only draw this position. Michael? Michael?
We keep on losing you very badly, and we didn't just hear what you said for the last 10-15 seconds.
Oh, okay, I was only really saying about the pawns moving and which ones could move down. So I've just given as an example this one, the F pawn, moving down, but this would be a bad position because, okay, because in this position, okay,
I just
I'm
lost
having okay, are you having some problems with the sound?
Yeah, you keep dropping out.
I think the reason is that when you move the pawn or something, when you move a piece and talk, it blurs out when you talk.
Okay, just 1 second, Michael. Could you put your hand up if you're having the same sort of problem that Michael's having, and you're losing me when I move pawns? So a couple of people, yeah, okay. So, okay, so some people are losing me, some people aren't losing, or most are losing me. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll try to move a little bit slower. Okay, so the yellow pawn, this pawn is a backward pawn. Thank you. Who was it? Anthony that said that? Yeah, thank you very much, Anthony. This is a backward pawn, which you would have looked at last night. This pawn is a very, very weak pawn. And in this position, if this would have happened, then in fact it would have been, the game could have ended up in a draw. Okay? So, as it is, it is important which pawn you move. So, this was the pawn that Rubinstein chose. Okay, now there's not going to be any backward pawns. If the pawn comes to e4, this pawn comes down to here, which is what Andrew Fifield, Joseph, have you got me now? Is what Andrew Fifield wanted. And now, there's another weak pawn on the board for white. He has weak pawns on got me again? Thanks, Liam. You can't hear me, but you're saying no. Okay. Joseph, am I here now? Good, okay. So there's some problems when we're moving the pieces around. Okay, all right. We'll see what we can do. All right, there are now 4 weak pawns on the board for white. Okay, so we have the a3 pawn has now suddenly turned into a backward pawn. So it's very important to remember about your weak pawns like we did last night. Okay? So that's what was played. This was played. It's still important to get it all right. Okay? White now started pushing his pawns down the board. Black started pushing his pawns down the board. So here comes one. Okay, this is just a variation. So the king gets to an even better position. And now, okay, are you all with me at this present moment in time? Okay, Anthony, you want to say something?
Yes, please.
Go.
The right before white moved his king forward to g2.
Yep.
Why couldn't black just hold him back and just move the pawns? After all, wasn't white in Zugzwang?
Okay, well, have a look at the position now. Okay, can you see the position now?
Yep.
Okay, this position is Zugzwang. It's white to move, and he has to move away from his f3 pawn.
That pawn.
Okay?
Yep.
So, this is the position that black's looking for. Okay?
All right.
Okay, so what white decided to do was not this. Okay? Instead of playing e4, he just moved his king. Okay, so all that white is going to do is move his king backwards and forwards and see what black does. So all black does is push his pawns down the board. Okay? Roy? Okay, I'm going to slow down a little bit because we've still got half an hour left. So, what black's going to do is push his pawns down. What white's going to do is just move his king backwards and forwards. Okay? So just watch how the game went. Okay? Hold on. We've got Roy here. Roy, you've got your hand up. So you should be able to speak, Roy. Got you, yeah.
You just dropped out before.
Yes, I know, Roy. We're having a little bit of trouble with this. Okay? But hopefully we'll get it all sorted within the next few days. Okay, so
Yeah.
hopefully you're learning some stuff. I'm learning some stuff as well. Okay, so just bear with me. If I drop out, then just tell me. I think I really have to go just a little bit slower. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Now, Joseph, it's not that I'm actually not talking. Okay, Joseph, it's not that I'm not talking. It's just that the internet's not fast enough for me. I'm such a quick talker, but the internet is going a little bit too slow for me. Okay, so I'll explain once again, but what's going to happen is white is just going to go backwards and forwards with his king. His king here is just going to go to G1 and H1. He's going to do nothing. Okay, black on the other hand is going to push his pawns down the board. Okay, Ben, we just had a look at if white plays E4, then if white brings his pawn to E4, to this square, this white king is going to work its way to F4 and then take the F3 pawn. So, here we go. I'll go pretty slowly for you. Just watch what happens for the next few moves. Okay? So, here we go. We've got the weak pawns. All the weak pawns are highlighted, doubled pawns, a backward pawn, an isolated pawn. So you should be able to identify all of those easily enough. Okay, I'm coming to Jameson Coots, sorry. So Jameson. Hello, Jameson. Hello, Jameson. Okay, I'll come back to you in a minute. If you want to write something down, then you can do. Alex, you've got a question, so I'll just talk to you a second. Yes, Alex?
Yeah, it's about, like, what people are saying that you get, losing contact with the pawns. I don't think it's really about that.
Okay.
And I am losing, contact quite a lot.
Oh, okay. So, is it every time I move a piece?
No.
No?
I don't think that's the issue. No.
Okay.
No. It's actually, I don't know. It's not when you move a piece. I've been monitoring that.
Ah, okay. Thank you very much. I'll see what I can do. Okay? Thank you. All right. Okay. The final of the game, the final way that this game ended. Okay? Just 1 second. It went... Okay, so... Black's going to push his pawns down. White's just going to move his king backwards and forwards. Okay, thanks for the drum roll, Alex. I can almost hear it. So here we go. Down come the pawns. And white does nothing. So down come the pawns. And white does nothing. So now we get to a very, very difficult situation. What's going to happen now? Okay? So, black is now going to engage pawns. Look at the way that the pawns... May, have you got me now? Okay. Maybe I have to type. Okay, black's king is in a great position, and it's going to be in front of its pawns. Okay, just like we had before in the other position. So, black's king's very, very active. White's king's done nothing. Okay? So, Okay, what would you play if you were black here? Okay. Not sure. Okay, F3, F4. So take on F3. Pawn to F4. We all like F4. That's very good. Yes, indeed. If the pawn takes here, so if this takes, then of course, white's going to end up possibly winning this game. Okay? So this is the move that was played. But we still have a few interesting things about this endgame to go. So, taking back, and now there's one last tricky thing. Okay, as you can see, the black pawns are going to come down the board. White's still doing nothing. Okay, everybody with me? Good. Okay. So, excellent. Okay, you're all guessing already. That's really good. Okay, so pawns are here. White's going to play takes. Takes back. And now, okay, Michael, thanks very much for the spam. Okay, have you got me? Black to play. What would you play in this position? Okay, black to play, what would you play? So we're taking on F4. Taking on F4. Pawn takes pawn. King to G4. Takes on F4. Okay, have you seen all the way to the end though? Let's look. Takes on G2. Okay, G2. I think if G2, then perhaps this pawn might come up and become a queen. Okay, this is a great move. And now, this move, where you can actually allow your opponent to get a queen. Because as you've all seen, yes, thanks very much, Anthony and Max, we have checkmate happening here. Okay? So, what happened in the game? Takes. But now, a very, very easy way to win this game. Okay? Just take this pawn, The pawn that's highlighted, the e5 pawn, is not the pawn that's going to win you the game. The pawn that's here, that's highlighted, you are going to sacrifice to win both of these. Yeah, Anthony, thank you. A decoy, that's exactly what it is. Okay? So, okay, you will have that. Okay, thank you all very much. Thank you all very much for watching. And thank you all very much for also trialing things out. And for helping and for being so patient with me. Okay? I'm passing you back to David now. So, I think he's got some interesting games for you to play.
All right. Everybody hopefully will be able to hear me. A little tournament. So we're just going to test this out. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to the website that you can see on my screen at the moment or on your screen at the moment. It's called Chess Boss. Just watch what I'm doing. Don't go to Chess Boss just yet. Yes, thanks, Jamison. A couple of people are saying that the tournament on chessboss.com. So you're going to go to www.chessboss.com. Chessboss.com. I've just typed that. Sorry, I've just typed that to Max. I better type that to everybody. Okay, you're going to go to that site. I'm going to create a tournament called Chess Kids Elite. All right, and you can screen called Chess Kids Elite. We're going to set up, we have 27 people. I'm going to set up 5 tournaments with 4 players in each tournament. It's going to be a 3-game round-robin tournament. Once you get on as a guest, that's fine. You can log on as a guest. Just join one of the Chess Kids Elite tournaments, and you'll be playing some games. Okay, I'm creating a couple of tournaments. Once 4 people join a tournament, you'll all be able to start. As I said, just join in as a guest. You don't need to register. And we'll be watching some of those games and making some comments on them, hopefully. Joseph, if you can't play because you've only got 7 minutes, I understand if some people can't play, then there'll be no problems. You don't have to join in because I know there's not long to go till 9 o'clock. We're just going to try and experiment with this. If a few people are able to join into the tournaments and start playing, yep. Yeah. Don't know. I'm going to try some other software that's got perhaps some better. All right, guys, you should be able to join one of the tournaments. Once you've got 4 players in a tournament, you will be able to start. Max, there's always something, isn't there? And once you've got 4 players in a tournament, try and join a tournament which has got 3 players in it already so that you can get the tournament started soon enough. We've got 3 in one tournament, 2 in another. All right, we've got the first round of the first tournament going. Making some comments on your games. We don't really know who you are, but we'll be making some comments on the games and trying to work out who's who. All right, we need a couple more players. Jemison struggling. Jemison, do you want to try talking to me? You go to chessboss.com and then you should be able to, down the bottom left-hand corner, it says 36 players online, 7 live games. We've got you can play a game if you want to.
Play a game.
No, you join a tournament. So click on a tournament, and then you get to tournaments as well. Go to chess. So open.
Hey, all right. I'm in a game with someone, but they haven't even made their first move, and their time is half gone.
Check out down the bottom of the page. There are lots of tabs across the bottom of the screen. So when your game starts, there should be a tab across the bottom of the screen where your game starts.
Okay. Well, the game has started, but
you need to click on the tournament. You need to click on the tournaments tab.
oh yes, got it. They're finally gone.
Double click on a tournament to join that particular tournament. Tournament. How are you going, Michael?
We can't find how to get in a chess game.
Okay. So
We joined the
have you
tournament,
managed?
we don't know what number, what our guest number is.
Okay. You don't know what guest number you are. It should show up. So let's have a look. I've just joined a tournament as well. Robert, have you joined a tournament yet? Boss.com.
Oh,
Well,
okay, I think we just found it, but basically our time's gone.
All right, you'll get to play another game. That's all right. This is a bit of an experiment for everybody. See you later, Jamison.
So White's made the first move, and we've got like 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. So is it possible to reset that?
All right, we're just testing this out. This is not really a serious tournament or anything. So down the bottom, next to where it says 42 players online, 10 live games, there'll be, when a game starts, there'll be a chess game. Somebody's just started a game against me. Yes, I've just done my first move. So I'm not sure. Hopefully there's some people who are getting to play some games.
Well, I'm just resigned. What draw?
So there'll be a little tab. It's a bit like Facebook, this thing. There's some tabs down the bottom left-hand side.
How do you know who you are?
Joseph, how are you going? You don't know where you are. You click on tournaments.
Yes, I know where I'm on. Are you playing a game?
Hopefully somebody's playing a game against me. Nobody's made a move yet. Then join a tournament.
I'm in a
So
tournament.
these are announced tournaments before you run it. Create a tournament.
Someone's playing Dutch against me.
And that says 4 required to join, so click on that. Yep, and then click register. So now you've registered for the tournament. So you register for the tournament. When 4 players join the tournament, then your tournament starts. So once you've got 4 players in your tournament,
Another player.
was that you, Carl? Oh, okay. Right, you're linked to me. All right, I'll see if I can join this tournament. All right, there we go. I've joined the tournament.
How do you get time?
Aha. All right. So now you've got the game there. Look, there it is. So down the bottom, somebody's played a move against you. You should be able to make your move back. Yes, someone's played. Don't think it matters who you're playing. At the moment, we're just guests. Everyone's guests. So we're giving it a go.
Can you actually sign up?
Hey! Site, not a good site yet, Joseph. So we're just testing this out to see if it's sort of suitable for our purposes. Somebody's playing against me, so that's good. There's a few games going on. There we go. It should just automatically start up.
137 636.
All right. Who?
Liam. Who's Liam?
There we go. We've got a few games going on.
You can type in the chat box, right? There's a chat box.
You should be able to chat. Yep. Tell whoever you're playing your name by typing in the chat box. Sorry, May. We're trying to do a lot of things at once. May, how are you going?
How do you send your message?
Hello, May. You okay? May? How are you going? Brett, how are you going? The game should start automatically once you've got 4 players in your tournament, and then down the bottom there's something which shows up saying Game ID, and then that's a little window that pops up when you click on it. And there's a chat box on the bottom right hand side. Somebody's challenged me to a game. All right, I'll take on a challenge.
How do you send your
Hmm?
message? I've typed it.
And then you just click enter.
Where's the enter?
Well, when you're in that box, once you finish typing, hit enter. Yes. All right, so we've got some games going on. Helen, let's get you talking. Yes, go ahead and have a chat. Helen. Is that Chris?
Yeah, because we have to, because that's my mum's name, so we have to change it.
That's okay, no problems. We're gonna wrap things up in a minute or two.
But I haven't started the game yet. I don't know which website do we go to. Do we verse each other, or do we watch
At the
someone
moment,
play?
there's a few people who are working it out. It's at chessboss.com, www.chessboss.com.
Where do you write it?
You just go to the internet. So just go to your normal Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wrap up in the next 1 or 2 minutes from here. So go to your Internet Explorer, go to chessboss.com, try and join in some of the tournaments that are going on.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
You've seen it? All right.
Yeah.
There's a whole heap of Chess Kids Elite tournaments, or you can just go to online players and just choose a random person from Australia, and it's probably somebody that you know.
Yep, I know it well. Yeah.
Good. Somebody's playing a game against me. I've got a few games going, so a few people are playing some games. But yeah, you can challenge some random opponents.
It's a quick game.
Yeah.
What's up, Brett? I can hear you if you talk.
And click here to play.
Andrew, if you're in 3 tournaments, you're going to play.
What did you do?
So, Chris.
All right, guys. We're gonna leave it at that for tonight. Good luck on chessboss.com. All the best. We're going to be putting up copies of this on the internet for everybody to watch the lesson again later on. So do that. Carl's got some homework as well for you. So go to the website and download the notes from today, and you'll see your homework there. Otherwise, we're going to stop this for now. We'll see you again Thursday night. There'll be another lesson Thursday night with International Master Robert Jamison, and there'll be another lesson on Saturday morning. So I'm going to shut down now. Thank you very much all for being here, and have a bit of fun playing some games on Chess Boss if you can. Otherwise, we'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.